And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Bouns.
You got it. We're back.
Every single week we are back, and back in a big way.
Yeah.
Getting back into your wheelhouse here.
Yeah.
That is UFC
Yeah.
Fight Night. We're going to hop over across the pond once again. But should we talk about UFC's Fight Night last week and some of our hits and misses?
Yeah, for sure. Before we go to the O2, let's go back to the Apex this past weekend,
Yeah.
Andy. There was a couple really, really good ranked women's fights, and I split on them.
Okay.
Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler was the undercard fight. Normal Dumont was at a -140. I called that one correct, but the main event, Andy, was Holly Holm versus Silva, and I had to go with the preacher's daughter. I had to go with Holly Holm. She's a fan favorite. She's one of my favorite women fighters of all time, but I think that kind of played into the decision to a lot of bettors out there. She was sitting there at a -170. I took her, even more on top of that to actually have the KO, which was at plus money, but Silva came out and submitted her in the second round. In second round. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think Holly Holm was on her, last kick to get to another championship, and I think this ended it. So congratulations to Silva, and she's going to be riding up the rankings here pretty soon.
Yep, and she celebrated in a pretty good way there. A little tail shake there.
For sure.
I like the flair there.
You got to.
And Holm was 10 years older.
Yeah, for sure.
It had to catch up to her sometime.
Yep, it was her last time. It was her last run to the championship.
I don't want to say that yet because she just signed a 5-fight contract.
Yeah.
So she's still got 4 big ones coming her way. And you know how Dana White always does.
Likes to promote her. Yep, for sure.
Promote her, but then also everybody loves a comeback story. So
yeah, no doubt.
He's going to give her more opportunities.
For sure.
If she can just hang in there. But, man, getting submitted in that way, that fashion in the second round, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, all I was saying is, if she would have won this fight, she would have been on the doorstep to a title fight.
No doubt.
She's going to have to go through at least 2 or 3 of these final fights to get back to a title fight, which is very hard to see coming after that performance.
Yep, you're right. So, we alluded to it. We are talking about the O2 Arena. What an original name over there in the United Kingdom, over in London. So the O2 Arena, UFC Fight Night. We got a whole bunch of Europeans here up and down the card, and that's to be expected. That's Dana White being a really smart CEO.
Yeah, no, he lines them up. He makes the fights that people want to see in the venue that you want to see them. So it's a really cool thing.
It really is, and like we always give him praise, he does it right. So let's start with a ranked matchup here. Yeah, Paul Craig, guy out of Scotland, taking on Andre Muniz out of Brazil. So many Brazilians in the UFC, and this is another Brazilian that's a heavy favorite here at a -210 is Andre. Paul Craig, the number 9 contender in the world. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Craig, number 9 contender. Andre, number 14 contender.
Yeah.
But Craig is the plus 180 underdog.
For sure, Andy. And this is a middleweight clash. Paul Craig faces, Muniz, like you said. This one should be a test on whether Craig can make it to 185 pounds. This is his first time trying to make a 185-pound fight. He was bigger because if he can be a big problem in this division. Yeah. He's a slick grappler with a huge frame, and at the lower weight, he should be more durable at this weight. However, he hasn't been throwing a softball here, Andy. No. Before losing by submission to Brendan Allen, which is one of the better fighters in the division, Muniz looked like the most dangerous grappler at this weight class at 185.
He averages nearly 3 takedowns per 15 minutes.
Exactly.
I mean, this guy's all over.
He's a really good grappler. This is, for me, Andy, this is a tricky one to pick, especially on the ground. But given Craig's age at 35, Andy, and the fact that he hasn't made 185 before, it's hard to go with him. The pick for me is Muniz by decision, Andy. And if you go deep into those things, Andre Muniz to win by decision is at a plus 330 right now, Andy, which is a huge get for me.
You don't usually see that with a minus 210 favorite.
Exactly.
Right? Plus money like that.
Exactly. Everybody's thinking he's going to win by submission, which is at a plus 150. I just think Paul Craig is good enough on the ground that he's not going to get submitted. So I really like Andre Muniz by decision at a plus 330, Andy.
What's the over-under as far as rounds?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Because sometimes I think those are where some of the really good value is, and especially if you got a guy coming down that class like Paul Craig that's going to be defensive. And also he has a north of 50% takedown defense. Yeah. So I like what Craig can do.
Over-under is 1.5 rounds in a 3-round fight. So
give me the over.
It's right there in the middle. It's at a minus 125. So that's a very good parlay piece if you would like to do that, Andy, is at a minus 125 at over 1.5 rounds.
All right, should we move on up the card?
Let's do it.
Now, this is a fun one. We got to talk about the Barstool guys.
Yeah.
And rep the Barstool gals as
to.
well. And that is Molly, the meatball McCain, the hometown favorite, taking on a gal out of Lithuania, Juliana Storenko.
Yeah.
And, of course, Meatball is a big favorite here, minus 215. I've seen so many videos, so many hypes leading up to this. And dating back the last 2 times that we've been in London, the people from England have gone 9-3 overall. Men and women have 9-3 overall. I think this is going to make it 10-3
for
right
sure.
Here.
It's probably fair to say that this bout features a piece of seriously scrutinized odd matchmaking, Andy.
Yeah.
Molly Meatball, Juliana isn't the kind of opponent that Molly McCann should be facing right now. More that the idea,
get her back on track.
Get her back on track from the loss that she had. I just don't see any way Julia can win this fight. McCann, she saw her dreams rising to be in. Title contention.
Jumped over the fence, jumped on Dave Portnoy.
When she lost to Erin Blanchfield last November. So all that kind of went poof up in smoke. So they got her back in her hometown, back in her home arena to really light that fire again and see if she can go out there and smack her up again.
Oh, she's a great personality.
Yeah,
great ambassador of the sport.
She's one that they want to have win. And this is a gravy train run.
Yeah, and she's a striker. She's a lot of fun to watch. You can see why the UFC is trying to promote her so much so.
Exactly.
And also just that international brand as well. 5.7, north of 5.7 significant strikes landed per 50. Like it's crazy.
And it's in creative ways too, Andy. She'll do spinning kicks, spinning back fists, all that kind of stuff. The way that Molly's going to win this fight is she's only at a plus 140 to win by KO, which is pretty crazy for a knockout line, Andy. So that is what I'm going with. Molly McCann by KO, TKO, or DQ at a plus 140. I think it's the best bang for your buck. It's still at plus money, and overall, that's what's going to happen. She's going to knock this chick out.
Juliana does have decent defense, but that's more of like grappling defense.
For sure.
If Meatball can keep her up and keep her in that boxing mode, I think it's going to be lights out as well. Give me Molly McCann. I like your lean there towards the knockout.
Yeah.
And in a fight like this where they are really propping up McCann here for a W.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to find your value
and I think it might happen in the first round, Andy. So, if you're looking at round betting, that would be a really good as well, because I just really think that she's going to come out here, blow the top off, and winning in round 1 would be at a plus 215 right now. So if you don't like the knockout, if you think it's going to be a submission or whatever, no matter what, if it ends in round 1, it's a plus 215 bet, which I really think is a good possibility as well.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Should we move on up to the main
Let's
event?
go.
Another hometown hottie?
Yeah,
hero?
I guess.
I don't know. Tom Aspinall, number 5 contender, heavyweight bout here. Young man from England taking on Marcin Tybura out of Poland. So you're going to have a lot of fanfare there. Tybura is number 10 contender.
Yeah.
I know he's got some age. I know he's a little slower.
For
he's
sure.
a big old polar bear. He looks like a polar bear.
He is.
For goodness sake.
He is.
But man, is he a big dog here. Plus 330. You're looking at Aspinall with a minus 440, and I'm kind of surprised by that. I get it that Tom Aspinall is better across the board.
Yeah.
But he's coming off an injury. So all the headlines is can Aspinall get back? Is he going to come back to form? Well, if those are the questions, how can he be a minus 440 favorite?
Yeah, exactly, Andy. And I just kind of want to rewind here a little bit, Andy. The last time the UFC visited London for fight night, it was almost exactly a year ago, and it was a headline bout between heavyweight prospect Tom Aspinall.
Yep.
It was hoping to break through against a top contender, Curtis Blades.
Yep.
And had Aspinall defeated Razor in that, he could well have been in line for a possible title shot just then and there.
Oh, I know.
So he didn't win that one, but I think they're really trying to do this with Molly and Tom here and kind of giving them both a little bit of a layup and, getting these guys really to sell tickets and pop the roof off of this O2 arena. So I really think that this one is going to go Tom Aspinall's way. I really don't think
Aspinall is huge. He's a huge dude.
Yeah.
6'5". Well, what is his weight currently? 251. I mean, this is a big man.
Yeah. And like you said, Aspinall is coming off a serious injury to his knee. And over the years, we've seen multiple fighters come back from a similar injury and never be the same again. So your questions and everybody else's questions out there are really, legit. But it's just, I think he just got too much for this guy. And Aspinall's there to win. And I think he will.
And once again, he's the younger guy. And the hometown people, like I said, have gone 9-3 the last couple times they've been at the O2 Arena.
For sure.
And I expect that trend to continue. I'd much rather bet for the hometown guy that has everything kind of in his corner versus an aging contender from Poland.
No doubt.
And I hate to put old Tibera in that, but Tibera, he even sounds like a polar bear.
He does.
Like some type of breed of polar bear. Do you have any value plays or any parlay plays we could look at?
Yeah, I got a parlay play, but it's just about the O2. It's about the England guys here and gals. I got Molly McCain to win by KO at plus 140, and I'm pairing that up with Tom Aspinall to win by KO. It's sitting at a minus 165 right now. So alone, Andy, that is not a great play, but both of those together form a plus 285 parlay. Putting 25 on that to win 100, I think it's pretty good.
I really like that when you pare that down to just a two-legger.
Yeah, for sure.
Your odds significantly go up, and you're also putting it on a couple of hometown people, and I already told you why I really like that.
Yeah, and these guys were put at the top of this card to have knockouts, so that's why I'm going for 2 knockouts, Molly McCann and Tom Aspinall.
Sign me up. All right, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is WTL.